Lily stood on her tiptoes, but she still couldn't see over the crowd. All she could hear was the roar of excited voices and the thump-thump-thump of music from inside the arena. It was race night, the biggest race of the whole year. Lily had dreamed of seeing the race, of cheering for her favorite runner, but now it looked like she was going to miss it. Her small hands clutched the chain-link fence. Other kids, bigger and louder, pushed past her, waving colorful tickets and special passes. Lily's stomach twisted into a knot. She had saved up all her allowance for a ticket, but somehow, somewhere, she had lost it. A stern-faced security guard stood by the entrance, his arms crossed. He was like a gatekeeper, only letting people with the right passes through. Lily had tried to explain her situation, but he just shook his head. "No pass, no entry," he'd said, his voice booming over the noise. Lily's shoulders slumped. The lights of the arena seemed to mock her, promising a fun she couldn't reach. She felt a tear slip down her cheek. It wasn't just the race. It was the feeling of being left out, of missing something important. The happy shouts from inside felt like they were coming from another world, a world she couldn't enter. The race was about to start any minute. An announcer's voice boomed, counting down the seconds. Lily knew that any moment now, the runners would be at their starting blocks, ready to zoom around the track. She pictured them in her mind, their focused faces, their powerful legs, the colorful jerseys flashing by. She had practiced pretending to be a runner herself, racing around her backyard, imagining the cheers of the crowd. Now, the real cheers were just beyond her reach. The thought made her lip tremble. Lily imagined the starting gun firing, the runners exploding forward, the crowd roaring its approval. She would miss seeing the determination in their eyes as they pushed themselves to the limit. She would miss the thrill of not knowing who would win until the very last second. She squeezed her eyes shut, trying to block out the sounds of the race about to begin. It was no use. The excitement was everywhere, a tangible force that seemed to push her further away from the fun. She wished she could disappear, vanish into thin air, anything to escape the feeling of disappointment washing over her. The race of the evening was on, and she was about to be left behind. Suddenly, a ripple went through the crowd. Not a pushy, excited ripple, but a hushed, reverent one. People began to whisper, their voices filled with awe. "It's him," someone breathed. "It's Muhammad Ali." Lily, still trying to blink back tears, looked up. And there he was. Muhammad Ali. The greatest boxer of all time, a hero to so many. He was surrounded by a group of people, but he moved with a quiet grace, his eyes scanning the crowd. He wasn't just looking, he was seeing. He wore a crisp white suit and a warm, gentle smile. Even from a distance, Lily could feel the kindness radiating from him. He was more than just a famous athlete, he was a symbol of hope and strength. He had fought battles inside and outside the ring, and he always stood up for what he believed in. He was a champion, not just in sports, but in life. The crowd parted for him, like the sea for a king. He was a true legend. Ali's gaze drifted across the crowd, a sea of faces eager to catch his eye. But then, his eyes stopped. He saw Lily. He saw the single tear tracing a path down her cheek, the slump of her small shoulders, the unmistakable look of disappointment etched on her face. He saw past the crowd, past the noise, past the excitement. He saw a little girl who was hurting. In that moment, he wasn't Muhammad Ali, the famous boxer. He was just a man who recognized sadness in another person. He paused, his entourage pausing with him, sensing a shift in his attention. The noise of the crowd seemed to fade slightly as Ali focused on Lily. He could see her clutching the fence, her eyes wide with a mixture of longing and despair. He knew that feeling. He knew what it was like to be on the outside, looking in. And he knew he couldn't just stand there and do nothing. He had to help. Something sparked in his eyes, a determination to change her experience. He gently excused himself from his group, his movements fluid and purposeful. He moved toward the security ropes, the crowd respectfully giving way. Lily watched him approach, her heart pounding in her chest. She couldn't believe that Muhammad Ali was actually coming towards her. Was this real? He reached into the inner pocket of his white suit jacket. Lily held her breath. He pulled out a small, rectangular card attached to a lanyard. It was his personal access badge, the one that allowed him entry to every exclusive area of the event. It was a symbol of his status, his importance. For a moment, he held the badge in his hand, considering it. Then, with a decisive nod, he unclipped the lanyard from around his neck. He was going to give it away. He was going to give it to her. The realization sent a jolt of disbelief through Lily. Why would he do that? What had she done to deserve such kindness? The race seemed to fade in importance, replaced by the sheer wonder of the moment unfolding before her eyes. He knelt down, bringing himself to Lily's eye level. His smile was even warmer up close, crinkling the corners of his eyes. He held out the badge to her. "Here you go, little one," he said, his voice gentle and kind. "This should get you in." Lily stared at the badge, then back at Ali's face. But this is yours," she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. "It's yours now," he replied with a wink. "Go enjoy the race. And cheer extra loud!" He gently placed the lanyard in her hand, his fingers brushing hers. The touch sent a shiver of excitement through her. It felt like a magical transfer, like he was passing on some of his own strength and kindness to her. Lily looked down at the badge in her hand. It was real. Muhammad Ali, the greatest, had given her his own pass. It was a moment she knew she would never forget. The wonder in her eyes shone brighter than the lights of the arena. Lily finally understood. The badge wasn't just a piece of plastic, it was a key. A key to unlocking the fun, the excitement, the shared experience she had been longing for. A key given to her by someone who truly cared. A wide smile spread across her face, chasing away the last of the tears. She clutched the lanyard tightly in her hand, feeling a surge of confidence. She could do this. She could go inside and enjoy the race. She looked up at Muhammad Ali, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Thank you so much." Ali smiled back, his eyes twinkling. "You're welcome, little champion. Now go have some fun." He stood up, and as he turned to leave, a few people nearby applauded his act of kindness. Lily felt a swell of pride. She had been noticed, not just by anyone, but by Muhammad Ali himself. And he had seen something special in her, something worth helping. This wasn't just about getting into the race anymore. It was about feeling seen, feeling valued, feeling like she belonged. With newfound determination, Lily approached the security guard. He was still standing there, arms crossed, looking as stern as ever. But this time, Lily wasn't afraid. She held her head high and confidently presented the badge. The guard glanced at the badge, then at Lily, then back at the badge. His eyes widened slightly. He recognized it immediately. It was Muhammad Ali's personal pass, the one that opened every door. A flicker of surprise crossed his face, replacing the stern expression with a hint of respect. He unhooked the rope, creating an opening for her to pass through. "Go ahead, miss," he said, his voice much softer than before. "Enjoy the race." Lily stepped through the opening, her heart soaring. The rope that had once seemed like an insurmountable barrier now lay behind her. She was inside. She had done it. She glanced back at the security guard and offered him a grateful smile. He nodded slightly in return. She knew he wouldn't forget this encounter either. It was a small act of kindness that rippled outwards, changing the atmosphere for everyone involved. The arena was even more amazing than Lily had imagined. The roar of the crowd was deafening, but it was a happy noise, a wave of energy that washed over her. The air crackled with excitement. Colorful lights flashed, illuminating the track and the giant screen showing close-ups of the runners. She found a spot near the railing, where she could see everything clearly. The runners were already lined up at the starting blocks, their faces focused and determined. The announcer's voice boomed, introducing each runner, and the crowd roared its approval. Lily clutched the lanyard around her neck, the badge swinging gently against her chest. It felt like a lucky charm, a reminder of Muhammad Ali's kindness and generosity. She took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the electric atmosphere. She was finally here. She was part of it all. She was no longer on the outside looking in. The feeling was incredible. She proudly wore the badge, feeling like she truly belonged in the arena, and she could not wait for the race to begin. The starting gun fired, and the runners exploded off the blocks. A wave of cheers erupted from the crowd as the athletes surged forward, a blur of color and speed. Lily gasped, completely captivated by the spectacle. She watched, mesmerized, as the runners rounded the first turn, their strides powerful and graceful. She cheered for her favorite runner, just like she had always dreamed of doing. Her voice joined the chorus of thousands, adding her own energy to the already electric atmosphere. She felt a thrill course through her veins as she witnessed the incredible athleticism and determination on display. She forgot all about being sad, all about missing her ticket. In that moment, all that mattered was the race. She was completely absorbed in the excitement, her eyes glued to the track, her heart pounding in time with the runner's footsteps. It was a perfect moment, made even more special by the kindness of Muhammad Ali. The memory of his generosity would forever be intertwined with the thrill of the race. It was a memory she'd carry for life. Muhammad Ali was known for his boxing skills, of course. He was the best. But he was also known for something even more important, his big heart. He always tried to help people, especially those who were feeling down or left out. He believed in fairness and kindness, and he lived his life that way every single day. He wasn't just a great athlete, he was a great person. He used his fame and influence to make the world a better place. He spoke out against injustice, he supported those in need, and he always treated everyone with respect, no matter who they were. That's why he noticed Lily. That's why he gave her his badge. He saw someone who needed a little help, and he didn't hesitate to offer it. It was just one small act of kindness, but it made a huge difference in Lily's life. And that's what Muhammad Ali was all about, making a difference, one act of kindness at a time. He showed the world that being a champion is about more than just winning, it's about helping others win, too. Years later, Lily still remembered that night as if it were yesterday. She kept the badge in a special box, a treasured reminder of Muhammad Ali's kindness. It wasn't just a piece of memorabilia, it was a symbol of hope and generosity. She often told the story to her own children, emphasizing the importance of being kind to others, even in small ways. She explained how one act of compassion could change someone's day, or even their life. Lily never forgot the feeling of being seen, of being valued, of being included. It inspired her to be more aware of the people around her and to look for opportunities to help those in need. She volunteered at a local soup kitchen, she mentored young children, and she always made an effort to spread kindness wherever she went. She understood that Muhammad Ali's gift wasn't just about getting her into the race. It was about teaching her a valuable lesson about the power of human connection. He had shown her that even a small act of kindness could have a lasting impact, and she was determined to pay it forward. His legacy lived on through her actions. So, remember that next time you see someone who looks sad or left out, a small act of kindness can make a big difference. A smile, a helping hand, a kind word, these things can change someone's day and maybe even their life. Just like Muhammad Ali did for Lily, we can all be champions of kindness. We can all make the world a better place, one small act at a time. It doesn't take much to show someone that you care, and the rewards are immeasurable. Think about Lily, standing outside the arena, feeling lost and alone. Then think about Muhammad Ali, seeing her, understanding her, and offering her a simple gift. That gift not only allowed her to see the race, but it also taught her a valuable lesson about the power of compassion. And that lesson is something we can all learn from. Let's all strive to be a little more like Muhammad Ali, a little more aware of the needs of others, and a little more willing to offer a helping hand. Because in the end, it's the small acts of kindness that make the biggest difference in the world. They ripple outwards, creating a wave of positivity that can touch countless lives. And so, the story of Lily and Muhammad Ali reminds us that even the smallest act of kindness can create a ripple effect of positivity. It shows us that true greatness lies not just in what we achieve for ourselves, but in what we do for others. Muhammad Ali's legacy extends far beyond the boxing ring. It lives on in the countless lives he touched with his compassion and generosity. It lives on in Lily's story, which continues to inspire others to spread kindness wherever they go. Think about the power of a single smile, a single helping hand, a single word of encouragement. These simple gestures can brighten someone's day, lift their spirits, and even change their perspective on life. They can create lasting memories that are cherished for years to come. Let us all remember the lesson of the Access Badge, that kindness is the key to unlocking joy, connection, and belonging. And let us all strive to be champions of kindness, just like Muhammad Ali, making the world a better place, one small act at a time. Because in the end, it is kindness that truly matters. It is kindness that leaves a lasting legacy. And it is kindness that makes the world a brighter, more beautiful place for everyone.